It so happens, a man who lived most of his life impeccably and honorably, at the end of his journey crosses out all the good things that could be remembered about him. Brilliant commander, skillful organizer and manager, able to love Tiberius, at the sunset of days turned into a monster. But is he alone to blame for this? Yes, from childhood he was unfriendly by nature. He was disliked for it, and he paid for it in kind. From the very beginning he did not belong to himself. His fate was controlled by his mother Livia and stepfather, Emperor Augustus. Even in his youth, showed his extraordinary abilities, first of all as an orator. Romans it was very much appreciated. Then Tiberius perfectly showed himself as a diplomat and commander. In the East, he achieved without war the return of legion eagles Marcus Crassus, lost in the Battle of Carrhae, and just as diplomatically eliminated the military threat from Armenia and Parthia. In the following years, more than successfully commanded troops in the Balkans, conquered the lands on the right bank of the Rhine in Germany. Then his conquest will lose Quintilius Varus in the Teutoburg forest, and Tiberius again had to pacify the rebellious provinces, and in general was like a crisis manager, fixing things where others had messed up. He was the best military leader of his time and could stand in history with Pyrrhus, Hannibal, and Scipio Africanus. If only. 2 events brought him down. His stepfather forced him to divorce his favorite wife and marry Julia, the lecherous daughter of Augustus. Tiberius took offense and, despite entreaties, went into voluntary exile on the island of Rhodes. He was considered the successor to the princeps of some 3rd or 4th order, the power shown to him weekly. But gradually, all the heirs were removed one way or another, and the emperor who took offense at him in his turn had to return him to Rome. After the death of Augustus, there was no question of an heir at all. The Senate and all the state agencies unanimously took the oath of office. The empire he ruled magnificently. The treasury was filled. The arbitrariness of viceroys stopped. People forgot what corruption and wars are. He was accused of stinginess, but he allocated hundreds of millions of sestercev to cities affected by earthquakes and fires, and bought the debts of all farmers. But popular love did not result, even the opposite. He himself did not like gladiatorial fights, chariot races, and theater, so he did not consider it necessary to spend on them. Plebs under him lived in general nourished, but boring. This was not forgiven. At the same time, his bad qualities, suspiciousness, resentfulness, and vindictiveness, began to appear, especially after the uncovered conspiracy of the chief of Praetorians Aelius Sejanus. Even before that, Tiberius left Rome for the island of Capri. Just there, as described by Roman historians, he in his old age began to indulge in the most unheard of and rampant debauchery. What is the price of this information? Difficult to judge. The sources are clearly biased. Besides, the books of antiquity passed the filter of medieval scribes. What was profitable for the church to vilify the empire of pagans left the rest in the furnace. The main thing in another, Tiberius Julius Caesar Augustus, a personality very ambiguous, contradictory, but undoubtedly outstanding. Perhaps the most serious complaint against him is that he made Caligula his heir.